Happy New Year! Je suis un log. So we are in a wonderful era right now where reading is cool again. Hello. I have been saying that for a while, but I guess people finally caught up. BookTok and BookTube are really leading this charge, and without them I probably wouldn't have found half the authors I read last year. That being said, there are a few authors which I haven't seen talked about much online, if at all, and I think they deserve to share some of the spotlight. So I'm gonna talk about them right now. Oh, and no spoilers, by the way. Andrew Smith, 100 Sideways Miles and Grasshopper Jungle. Andrew Smith is an author who has a very unique narrative voice and very out there ideas. If you like John Green, but like an extra dose of oddness to your books, then Andrew Smith might be the author for you. He's not afraid to bend or break the rules sometimes if it means creating a compelling story. And his humour is actually funny. He's not trying too hard, it's just naturally hilarious. 100 Sideways Miles is the story of Finn Easton, who is crushed by a horse that falls off a truck as a young boy. And now he measures time through the miles the Earth rotates, sideways miles, instead of minutes. He's also dealing with finding his identity as Finn, not just a character in his father's best-selling book. His best friend is Cade Hernandez, and they make a hilarious duo. And he's in love with Julia Bishop, who sadly moves away. Finn is heartbroken, so feeling trapped and restless, he and Cade decide to road trip to Oklahoma to visit their college of choice. But then an accident happens, and the boys become unlikely heroes. This is a coming-of-age story filled with humour and tenderness. Every character is fleshed out and fallible. It's definitely the older end of YA, but as an adult I still find his work really enjoyable and engaging. Grasshopper Jungle. 16-year-old Austin Serbzer interweaves the story of his Polish legacy with the story of how he and his best friend Robbie brought about the end of humanity and the rise of an army of unstoppable, 6-foot-tall praying mantises in small-town Iowa. Yes, you heard me correctly. Praying mantises take over the world in this book, and it's amazing. Smith's narrative voice once again shines in this story. Austin is constantly at war with his hormones. He's in love with his girlfriend Shan, but remains confused about his sexual orientation while also trying to save the world. Smith's honesty is a little bit startling, but in the best way. He somehow manages to explore the complex realities of the human condition, while also telling a story about two boys who doom humankind and also a love triangle, and yet it still manages to work. Give Andrew Smith's book a go. I don't think you'll regret it. Carissa Broadbent, Daughter of No Worlds. If you're a big fan of fantasy, then you will adore Carissa Broadbent. If you loved Throne of Glass, then the War of Lost Hearts trilogy is 100% for you. It's a completed trilogy, and the first book in the series is Daughter of No Worlds. Now, I went into this book kind of hoping for a comfort read. I'd just finished Onyx Storm and I needed a little something to take the edge off. But what I ended up with was not a comfort read. It was, in fact, a fully fleshed out story about love, loss, faith, and war all rolled into one, plus a little bit of magic. I have seen Carissa Broadbent talked about a bit online, but not nearly enough. Each book in this trilogy definitely has that final 100-page feeling that all amazing fantasy books do. A lot of people refer to romantasy as just smut, mainly when it's written by women, because sexism. But this is not that. Any of the intimate scenes within this trilogy are needed. They're part of the plot, they drive the story forwards. Daughter of No Worlds follows the story of Tisana, who is ripped from a forgotten homeland as a child. She learns how to survive with nothing but sharp wit and a touch of magic. But the night she decides to buy her freedom, she barely escapes with her life. Desperate to save the best friend she left behind, Tisana journeys to the Orders, the most powerful organization of magic wielders in the world. But to join their ranks, she must complete an apprenticeship with Max, a reclusive fire wielder who despises the Orders. The Order's intentions are cryptic, and Tisana must prove herself under the threat of the looming war. She'll stop at nothing to save those she abandoned, even if it means wielding death itself. I mean, what a blurb. It will most definitely have you making some very unflattering facial expressions at your Kindle at 1 a.m. in the morning. So if that is what you're looking for, then Carissa Broadbent is your girl. Nicole Platania, The Curse of Ophelia. Similar to Carissa Broadbent, I stumbled over The Curse of Ophelia by Nicole Platania kind of by accident, and what a happy accident that was. It's also a completed series, and it has a really fun Greek mythology influence, but the world it's set in is utterly new and fantastical. It's been 2 years since Ophelia has seen the boy she loves. When a treaty was signed ending the war and lifting the curse on the Mystique warriors, Malachi left to attempt the sacred ritual known as the Undertaking. He never returned, and the Undertaking was forbidden. Since then, she has pursued a fruitless search for answers. When the deadly curse resurfaces only on her, Ophelia finds solace in the idea that when she dies, she may finally be reunited with her lost love. But then a messenger appears, telling her that she alone may be the one to save her people. In the first book especially, Ophelia is dealing with a lot. She's lost the boy she loves, and she's the only one who thinks that he's still alive, which makes her just feel insane because everyone else thinks she's just in denial. She deals with this loss through drinking and training, and she's in a pretty dark place at the beginning of this story. But that means there is so much room for her and the other characters to grow. I love a book that shows a realistic healing journey. Throughout the series, the characters become better people and healthier mentally. They don't just turn around and suddenly feel better. They have to find a way to literally claw their way back to finding joy in the world again. That being said, this series is fast-paced and action-packed. Like the War of Lost Hearts trilogy, I read these books so fast and I lost so much sleep, but it was worth it. There's something about Platania's writing that just keeps you on the edge of your seat and wanting to read more, and the characters expand and come together beautifully as the series goes on. Kepnes. Hello. Caroline Kepnes is the author of the book You, which the TV series is based on. Obviously, the Netflix series has a huge following, but I don't think a lot of people have actually read the book, which is arguably a lot more disturbing than the series, and yes, that is possible. The inside of Joe Goldberg's mind is a scary place, and it's only made creepier by the second-person POV that Kepnes writes in. Trust me, it'll make your hairs stand on end. There is only one Guinevere Beck in New York City. She has a public Facebook account and tweets incessantly, telling Joe everything he needs to know. She's simply Beck to her friends. She went to Brown University. She lives on Bank Street, and she'll be at a bar in Brooklyn tonight. The perfect place for a chance meeting. As Joe invisibly and obsessively takes control of Beck's life, he orchestrates a series of events to ensure Beck finds herself in his waiting arms. Moving from stalker to boyfriend, Joe transforms himself into Beck's perfect man, all while quietly removing the obstacles that stand in their way, even if it means murder. I'm not going to say too much on this book right now because I plan to actually make another video on it, but what I will say is this.
Hello, you.
Kathryn Foxfield and Cynthia Murphy. If you're a fan of One of Us Is Lying by Karen M. McManus, or A Good Girl's Guide to Murder by Holly Jackson, or if you just love a good old-fashioned murder mystery, then the work of Kathryn Foxfield and Cynthia Murphy are for you. Cynthia Murphy, Win, Lose, Kill, Die. Murphy's book, Win, Lose, Kill, Die, was quite unbelievable. I read and watch quite a lot of crime, so I usually end up guessing a lot of the twists before they happen, but not this time. There is a reason people call Murphy the plot twist queen. The students of Morton Academy are high achievers, selected based on academic excellence. So when a series of murders target the school's brightest and best, the pressure is on. Someone is determined to stop at nothing to clear their path to the top. But who is it? And can they be stopped? A high school slasher with a lethal twist. Kathryn Foxfield, It's Behind You. Kathryn Foxfield also writes high-stakes, thrilling mysteries. My favourite one of her books is called It's Behind You. What? Competing in a game show, 5 contestants must sit tight through the night in the dark and dangerous Umber Gorge caves, haunted by a ghost called the Puckered Maiden. But is it the malevolent spirit they should fear? Or each other? As the production crew ramps up the frights, secrets start to be revealed. These teenagers have hidden motives for taking part in the show, and could some of them be murder? Yes. Yes, they could. I also want to give an honourable mention to Good Girls Die First by Foxfield. I have recently learned that I quite enjoy when crime and murder mystery writers combine a little bit of the supernatural into their work. Bella Mackie also did this with her recent publication What a Way to Go, and the combination of the genres worked really well there too. Sally Gardner, Maggot Moon. So I've decided I need to read more of Sally Gardner's work. I read Maggot Moon when I was in my early teens, and I think it says a lot that it's on this list like a decade later. It was just that good. On the other side of the wall, there is a dark secret, and the devil and the moon man, and the motherland doesn't want anyone to know. But Standish Treadwell, who can't read, can't write, and has different coloured eyes, sees things differently to the train track thinkers. So when Standish and his only friend Hector travel to the other side of the wall, they see what the motherland has been hiding. It's 100 short chapters that are told in a very unique narrative voice, which is both gripping and amusingly dark, bleak and chilling, tender and transporting. I remember this book blew my mind when I first read it. It kind of steps outside the normal bounds of what you think a book can be if you've never read something like that before. Yeah, I just remember being like 13 or 14 and my mind just opened. Patrick Ness and Josh Silver. So I've put these two together because I've actually made videos on both of them before, which I will link somewhere. Josh Silver, The Happy Head Duology. Josh Silver's Happy Head Duology really deserves more attention than it's been getting. It's got a serious Hunger Games Maze Runner vibe, while also commenting on how we treat mental health in society and medically, and showing how the main character Seb finally ends up accepting who he truly is. When Seb is offered a place at a radical retreat designed to solve the national crisis of teenage unhappiness, he is determined to change how people see him and to make his parents proud. But as he finds himself drawn to the enigmatic Finn, Seb starts to question the true nature of the challenge set before him. The deeper the program the boys get, the more disturbing the assessments become, until it's clear there may be no escape. Patrick Ness. Patrick Ness is a popular author in the YA space. He's even had movie adaptations of some of his books, like A Monster Calls and the Chaos Walking trilogy. I actually quite liked the Chaos Walking movie, but I seem to be in the minority. Sorry, Tom Holland. That being said, I don't actually see many people talking about him online, which is a real shame because I actually think he's one of the best YA writers of our time. The Chaos Walking trilogy blew my mind when I read it, as did The Rest of Us Just Live Here and More Than This. His books are often set in an alternate world that's kind of similar to ours, but then there's something drastically different or subtly different depending on the story. Ness's mind and imagination really know no bounds, and the quality of his writing means that he executes his ideas with stunning precision, and often in a heartwarming, exciting and tender way. Brian Aldiss, Equator. This is an oldie but a goldie. At the end of last year, I read Equator by Brian Aldiss. It's a short sci-fi book that you could probably finish in one sitting, about if aliens had come to Earth and taken control of one of the territories for themselves. I had a lot of fun reading this book. The main character is unlikely and amusingly useless. The idea is fun and silly, and weirdly, it kind of reminded me of watching The Boys on Amazon Prime, because when I watch that show, I always think, this is exactly what the world would be like if there were superheroes. And this book is similar in that way. You know, if aliens did come to Earth and they did negotiate to take control of part of the land for themselves, I kind of think this is how it would be as well. It's a proper old style sci-fi, but it doesn't focus too heavily on the science part, which I appreciated. I've read books like Dune before, and while I love the franchise, it just doesn't hit for me, but this one does, and it's just a fun short read. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you want to see more, please do subscribe and let me know if you've read any of these authors and what you thought of them, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!